Blogs, we've seen how the federal government can be liable in a U.S. Army National Guard family outing when a 13-year-old boy was hit while standing on the third baseline at a softball game involving older people. And the boy was walking towards home plate while the catcher was throwing to third, and the boy was walking close to the third baseline. It certainly seems that there would be some comparative negligence on this 13-year-old, and indeed the judge, this was a bench trial, found 20% on the boy. The judge used the standard I've referred to in the past, including the last blog, of the child is to be viewed as a child of like age, maturity, experience. And in that vein, the judge found 20% for the boy coming close to the field of play. But 20% is not 100%, and 20% from 100 is 80%. So 80% was found on the federal government for the negligence of the supervising officer. And that gentleman, according to the findings of fact of the judge, that gentleman was negligent in not preventing the child from wandering into the field of play and thus exposing himself to an errant throw from the catcher toward third base. Now, the exact details of the play were uncertain, but the judge, as fact finder, tried to recreate the play as best he could, and that's what he found. The judge said, and this has applicability for negligence cases, the judge said that the supervisor was only a few feet away, that he saw an emergent situation, a dangerous situation. Again, think of that. He was only a few feet away. It was an emergency, and it was potentially very dangerous or at risk. And yet, what did the supervisor do? He yelled, "The play is to third." And the judge concluded from that, inferred from the evidence, that it indicated that the supervisor may have been more interested in the game than in the safety of bystanders, which was his responsibility. He was, after all, the senior soldier on the field, and he had authority and a duty to act if there was a dangerous risk. Now, by allowing the young man to walk by him and by focusing still on the play rather than on the safety of the young man, in the opinion of the judge, who was the fact finder, this supervising officer acted negligently and the child was exposed to the risk of injury. So the 20% of comparative negligence on the child did not preclude or stop recovery. It limited the recovery by 20%. And that's instructive for us to remember, because often there is some what's called comparative negligence for an injury that occurs. And the fact that it was a youngster as opposed to a mature adult allowed for a lesser finding of comparative negligence than would otherwise. In the next blog, I'll talk about the parents' loss of consortium, a claim that can be made in Massachusetts since the early 1980s, and I will also talk about how the judge went through and priced, if you will, the various damages. Thank you.